Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Zihir Vato. Tonight, we've got stories in the world of cycling and esports. But first, we're kicking things off with the heart of volleyball.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Well, the podium is almost complete in the 2023 PVL All-Filipino Conference. The F2 Logistics secured bronze, while champions will be determined by an exciting Game 3 clash between the Creamline Cool Smashers and the Petrogazz Angels tomorrow. Right, Z? Well, joining us tonight is volleyball analyst Mela Tunay. Mela, welcome to the show. Thank you very much. Congratulations on your latest anchor gig.
Yes!
Grabe. Oh, ibang klase. So, first off, let's take a look at what happened first. Battle for bronze. Again, F2 getting the job done. And it feels like they found that rhythm. Coach RDG, obviously, RDJ is there at the venue. Was that a factor in your mind, of course, and what did you see in that matchup?
So that actual game, ibang usapan pa kasi yung nilaro nila versus yung presence ni Coach Creamline being there. Of course, the intangibles being a big factor for F2 in that match. His presence alone, his efforts to be there, really pumped up the players, and you saw how different they were moving versus their previous games that they lost. So definitely that was a good boost for them. But on the technical side of things naman, I think F2 really picked their game well after losing both the first set in the Game 1 and the Game 2 for the battle for bronze. So na-pick up nila maayos yung laro nila kasi in the scoring and non-scoring departments, they were able to have more outputs over PLDT.
All right, now let's look at the bigger picture. Last year was the first year that the F2 cargo moves joined the PVL. So what do you think is the main difference, the biggest difference so far? Kasi last year, they weren't able to secure a spot in the top 4 and now they're in the podium.
Honestly, I think it's just a matter of their preparation din. Kasi of course, coming off from pandemic and then they lost players also. Because before, nung semi-pro pa, they would have LaSalle players in their lineup. So it was easy for them to get players. So nung naging pro na, they had difficulties recruiting players. So this year, what made the difference is, of course, they have a very reliable spiker in Myla Pablo. And of course, Ivy Laxina also, after her UAP stint, went straight to F2. And they have Coach Reg, who made a lot of difference, encouraging the players. So in the past year kasi we saw a different F2 from the usual LaSalle core that they have na malalakas yung loob, very intimidating. They kind of lost that in 2022 and now it's back. And we were seeing a much more lighter aura with their team.
Well, congratulations to F2 Logistics Cargo Movers with the bronze finish. And of course, we got to talk about the big one here. Right, Z?
What is that?
I wonder what that will be. Of course, Game 3 between Creamline Cool Smashers and the Petrogazz Angels will be tomorrow. Since Z here is slightly biased for very good reasons, I'm going to use her as a resource person na lang.
Alright.
Oo, pero Mela, I want to start off with you first. Grabe yung Game 2. Creamline in particular, really pulling out all the stops. I had to go to a fifth set. What did you see? What did you like with what Creamline did, especially going into that matchup?
Well, that matchup, it was really a hard-fought win by Creamline. And at one point, after the first set, Petrogazz winning, parang lahat nagtataka na, is this gonna end in Game 2? But, you know, Creamline being the championship caliber team that they are, humugot din talaga sila sa mga players nila and a lot of them delivered. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, 4 of their spikers out of 5, si Panaga lang yung hindi naka-double digits in that game. 4 of them really had such a big impact in that game, and it's also a matter of when they would explode kasi dikitan nga lang yung laban, especially yung mga sets na nakahabol yung Petrogazz. That 4th set was also a very big boost to the Angels. So yung 5th set also, that 8-0 run, I think it boiled down to the maturity and the familiarity of Creamline kasi they unleashed plays that fans have never seen before or barely saw. Talking about that Celine Domingo running hit. So parang ang dami pa nilang baon, and that's for Ate Z to share. Paano nila pa naghahanda?
Hindi ko po alam. Hindi ko aware. What's What specific place?
No, but seriously, Mel, if you want to ask her anything, please go ahead. But when you have a moment like this, of course, Game 3, a decider and a great matchup we've seen, you go head to head and it's always great theater sa totoo lang.
Yes.
How does it feel to be in that type of situation again?
Well, one, we're really grateful to be in the finals once again. And yun nga, we've mentioned so many times that the championship title in the All-Filipino Conference for Petrogazz has been very elusive. So it's just, my heart as a volleyball fan is just no bias, but it's very keen on Petrogazz winning, hopefully.
Well, of course, Petrogazz have yet to win a All-Filipino
correct,
Conference,
correct.
and Creamline Cool Smashers have yet to win without an Eliza Valdez.
Right.
Big factor, I guess, when it's about Eliza. But then, of course, all joking aside, you mentioned a few X factors here for the Petrogazz Angels. You have Cheng, Aiza Pontillas, and Remy Palma in particular. Why these three?
Well, those veterans just really have a lot of championship experience. Of course, si Janelle with Benilde pa before, it goes way back. Pero we're seeing how chill she is as a setter, regardless if it's crunch time. She always know what to do. So that's a big factor to carry, in the most important match in the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Kasi if it happens na mawala yung composure niya na yon, I'm sure it will be so different for Petrogazz. Meanwhile, for Nang Aiza Maiso naman, it's just so amazing to see her. Generations of players came after her, pero alam mo yun, siya pa rin yung isa sa mga nasa top players. Like, she ended the eliminations number 4 in spiking and also in the top scorer. So, kayang-kaya niya talaga magdala. Wala na siyang kailangang patunayan doon. And I guess yesterday also, yung mga wing spikers ng Petrogazz did not produce their usual numbers. 10 and 8 is slightly lower than the usual Sultanes and itong si Jonah, yung mga points na puproduce sila. But si Nang Aiza manages to stay consistent all throughout. And of course, si Remy naman, I guess, yung medals talaga, strength yan ng Petrogazz, especially this conference. But comparing MJ's impact with Remy, si Remy talaga, all-around player, her services are really loaded and yung blockings and attackings niya. So she's an all-around player. Plus, the vibe, di ba? She's very animated at kaya niyang manghawa ng improvement in terms of body language for their team.
Senior ba si Aiza?
Hindi parang...
So, all right. Before we go really quickly here, we have to also go through some of your X factors here for Creamline. And when you list down the names here, I think it's easy to see why she picked all of them.
I mean, we got Michelle Gumabao, Gia De Guzman, and Pangs Panaga for in the list. And I mean, number one, Michelle Gumabao, she has been so consistent all throughout this All-Filipino Conference, producing at least double digits in every game. And, stepping in for Eliza since she's been the missing piece so far here in the conference. We got Gia De Guzman, of course. I mean, it always boils down to labanan ng setter din. Kasi you got spikers, you would have middle blockers, you would have your outside hitters. But you mentioned kanina nga, middle blockers, MJ and Remy. But, paano sila gagana kung walang setter? So I guess it really it's gonna be a showdown between Cheng and De Guzman tomorrow once again. And lastly, Pangs Panaga. I mean, yesterday, she has been really all out, which has never been seen in Game 1.
Yeah.
So, activating your middles is truly like a huge boost for any team.
What impact do you think she's going to have? Because again, 6 points and 3 blocks. We put her alongside the names of si Gia, who was the best player of the game with the 30 excellent sets, and of course si Michelle with the 21.
Well, among the starters na spikers, si Pangs lang kasi yung hindi double digits in their previous outing. So I think if she explodes with her best game tomorrow, lalo na she's really known for her blockings, lalo na nung prime Panaga. So I think if ma-unleash niya yun tomorrow, magsistruggle talaga yung Petrogazz. So kailangan umuwi ng maaga ni Ate Z so they could
Well,
prepare.
taking notes, Pangs Panaga.
Okay.
Noted with thanks.
Mela, maraming salamat. We really appreciate the time. And of course, we can't wait to see your tweets tomorrow. And of course, hear more about all the analysis from the game. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tita Mels. After the break, we'll talk to the company behind one of the biggest esports games in the world today. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Welcome back. You're watching The Game. In the world of esports and competitive shooters, few have had as much success and impact worldwide as Valorant. Now, joining us tonight to talk about what's next for the global phenomenon in the Southeast Asian region is Riot Games Country Director, Joel Guzman. Joel, welcome to The Game. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing good.
All right, so we were talking a bit off the air a while ago, and I was surprised personally to find out that the Riot Games opened here in Southeast Asia, or at least having an office here in Southeast Asia, just a year ago. It's a 3-year-old game, but that just shows you that there's a lot of anticipated growth in the region, is there?
Yes. So what I can say, globally, there are around 14 million monthly active players for Valorant, and Philippines is actually one of the most countries up there in the rankings, so who has the most number of active players. From an esports viewership alone, last year, Champions 2022 for Valorant had around 1.5 million concurrent viewers, which is actually 34% over to our 2021 figure.
Now, Pao mentioned that it was only just about a year ago when there was a Southeast Asian group for Riot Games, but actually it was just 3 years ago when you launched Valorant. And now, how is it like having an all-Filipino team in Team Secret and, competing at the highest level out there?
Filipino representation in our Asia-Pacific League is a very, very monumental landmark for the Filipino players here, Filipino esports players in the community. We have Team Secret waving our Filipino flag, right? Yes. They just came from a win last weekend versus one of the most biggest players or teams in Thailand, Talon Esports. And in Sao Paulo, during lock-in, they actually beat one of the most famous esports organizations in Europe, Team Liquid.
They beat Team Liquid. Sabi nga nila, solid sila.
Solid sila.
Sabi nila. But then you look at Team Secret right now and their popularity, and not only that, the way that they're shocking bigger competition. Nakakagulat ba yan in terms of, I guess, that we're seeing this early on, like, again, 3-year-old game, this early on, seeing a Filipino team actually perform at such a high level?
Super. I think it all boils down to their high octane play, their energy. What European teams are used to is more of calm, cool, collected approach. And they always get surprised when facing a team like Team Secret.
And of course, with Team Secret, they will be continuing their run at the VCT Pacific. They will face Paper Rex on April 2, so that's going to be really fun. But then I have something here for Z as well. Kasi, I mean, Z doesn't play, all right? That's what I know. Z doesn't play.
I'm just learning.
But it's such a great thing to know that there's actually a strong female base of players here in the Philippines. Maybe some people might be surprised about that. I was personally surprised about it when I saw some of the statistics as well.
Yeah. So actually, the player base for Valorant, almost half of the player base are actually female, which is actually a good progressive move towards having female representation in gaming and esports. And we're happy to see that more and more women are actually playing esport and being part of the game.
So we've talked about representation in the women and among Filipinos. How do you think Riot can continue expanding its, players and
and the growth here in the country?
Yeah, one of our initiatives is the VCT Game Changers, which is a female league, right? And while we do recognize that there's still a lot of barriers and challenges when it comes to women representation in gaming and esports, that avenue or that pillar hopefully will be able to break down all these barriers and provide representation. At Riot Games, we believe that gaming is for everyone regardless of gender.
Yeah, it's interesting because not a lot of people, I guess, would try and push that type of diversity. But then you mentioned that it's important there for Riot. Can you explain just a bit why you feel that that's the case?
Because at the end of the day, gamers is just I'm a gamer myself. When you look at a gamer standpoint, it doesn't it doesn't have to be a man or a woman. At the end of the day, when you're really interested in the game, you play for it, and you play it, and yeah.
Okay, so when we saw all of the growth, we actually had an event recently to launch a Team Secrets, or at least send them off to the VCT. And how was the reception? How was the event like? I unfortunately was not able to be part of it. But then when you have an event like that, just can you give us an idea of how the community reacted?
For starters, we've reached over 3 million people, and that's people from the community, influencers, media, actually sharing the news of the VCT Pacific League launch. So that's one. We've received a lot of traction and amazing support for Team Secret. Again, they just beat Talent Esports last weekend, and just the community is just raving for and looking forward to their success in the league.
The growth and the success have been really tremendous and huge among the Filipino community. And do you think we will see some Valorant action in the, say, Southeast Asian games in the future? The SEA Games will be happening soon.
Yes.
And how do you think it will be received and will be explored?
Yes, I have news for that. So we will be represented by a Filipino team. So the Oasis Gaming will be in SEA Games representing us for Valorant. And I'd also like to add that we do have a local league called Valorant Challengers.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like the breeding ground for the next level of talent or the next superstars of esports. I always talk about having a dream of getting the next Faker for Valorant, and my dream is for it to happen, to come from the Philippines.
Okay, why not? Why not?
Soon.
And of course, for sure. And we still have a bit of time here, so I want to go into more internal questions here with regards to Valorant, because a lot of people are wondering how. Okay, during the lockdown, during the pandemic, a lot of people turned into gaming. But then Valorant has kept on growing even past the pandemic. Other games have kind of slowed down a bit. But then the growth here for Valorant has been something else. Is there any reason why you feel that that's the case for all genders, for all ages, throughout the region?
I think one, it all boils down to strong sense of community. Valorant has one of the most positive communities out there in gaming. Number two, Riot Games, from establishing Riot Philippines last year, we've always created hyper-local experiences that would resonate with Filipinos. And that's always our mission, so that we could be closer to the Filipino gamers, so that everything that we do, be it an offline event or an online event, we always resonate with the Filipino gamers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. We're friendly, okay? So do not say things on the comms that are not friendly to other people. Joel, maraming salamat. We really appreciate your time and sharing everything about Valorant. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Joel. All right, after the break, Find out how you can be part of the biggest cycling festival in the country. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. The biggest cycling festival in the Philippines is making its highly anticipated return after 3 years. Find out how you can be a part of the PRURide Philippines 2023 in Clark and Cebu this coming May. Let's watch this.
We just launched the PRURide 2023 after 2 years in the pandemic. I'm excited to be back to this race.
This is very prestigious kasi we're also celebrating 175 years ng Prudential, yung mother company ng PRULife.
We are firm believers that movement is medicine and cycling is the best way, well, to us, is the best way to get your hearts pumping, to live a healthy lifestyle.
PRURide is back. I assure you guys, it's a fun ride. Everyone's invited, all types of bikes, even kids, even your family.
PRURide 2023 is about family. It's about celebrating life. For 2 years, medyo nahirapan tayo. No? We came from a pandemic and now it's the time to celebrate. Now it's the time to bond with family. Now it's the time to bond with friends, to be outdoors. Just enjoy life. And the best way to enjoy life is through cycling. You meet so many people, you bond with your family, and you become healthy at the same time.
This PRURide edition of PRULife UK, we are bringing this again back to the Philippines. Bigger, better, more exciting, because not only we are looking forward to over 5,000 Filipinos and families to join us, but also this is a chance for us to celebrate the parent company's 175th anniversary.
Pagbabalik ng new normal, it's good that we see our riders come back out, get their bikes, and not just ride out on the road, but ride together.
We chose Gretchen Ho because she is a woman in action, and Gretchen exemplifies the type of persona or person that we would like to be able to identify with PRULife UK. PRULife envisions to help the cycling community by being an advocate of cycling. We started this up in 2016 with a simple ride, and then we further expounded it and expanded it rather. And now we're back after the pandemic, and we want to make sure that everyone's aware and would have fun cycling. And this time we are focusing on the families, making sure that each of the family that we're trying to invite to attend would have fun in PRURide PH 2023 in Clark and in Cebu, and that's why it's even bigger.
Families is the basic unit of the society, and families form the community. Communities form the nation. A healthy nation is what we are, PRULife UK, championing, because we truly want to help many more Filipinos and families get the most out of life. Health is the ultimate wealth. This is where we want to encourage all Filipinos to join us, as many as possible, in living a healthy lifestyle together.
Join us in our PRURide PH 2023 in Cebu or Clark as we celebrate Prudence's 175th anniversary and 100 years in Asia. You can do so by logging on to prulifeuk.com.ph and registering for PRURide PH 2023. Let's have fun, guys. Bring in your family, and then we'll make sure that we will continue to have, as we said, party on the road as we cycle.
And that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Zihir Vasho.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.